So today I'm gonna be talking about the Galaxy Chromebook by Samsung. It's running Chrome OS, of course. It's got a Intel Core i5 CPU, the U series. So this is a serious processor. This is not the Y series for Ultrabooks. It's got a 13.3-inch touch UHD AMOLED screen. It's got 8 gigabytes of RAM, LPDDR3, unfortunately, not LPDDR4. It's got a solid state disk with 256 gigabytes of RAM. It's PCI 3. And it's using Intel 802.11ax 2x2 for Wi-Fi. And the color you see here is Mercury Gray. It's not the Fiesta Red that was so notable. Okay, so the build quality for this is pretty solid, even though it's really small and thin. I don't feel any flex, no torsion, so that's good. But it's really, really light. I think it's 1 kilogram, which translates into 2.2 pounds or 2.3 pounds. Let's take a look at the display. So this is a 13.3-inch 4K AMOLED display. It's really colorful. You can't see it. I don't know why I'm turning this up. Maybe I should have turned it up. You can't really see it, but it's quite colorful and bright. The bezels are nice and small for a 2020 laptop. That's a good thing. Keyboard is nice and comfortable. Doesn't have a lot of travel. It's a little bit shallow. It's not as good as the new MacBook Pro Magic Keyboard with the 1mm travel. I suspect this doesn't have 1mm of travel, but it's still pretty good. Trackpad feels really nice, and I didn't notice any accidental touches when I was typing just now, and I haven't noticed any since I've been using this Chromebook. So that's pretty good. So let's do a quick speed test on this. I kind of like speedometer. Because it's nice and platform independent, and it depends only on the browser. That's a really low speed. The last couple of times I tested this, it ran at about 100. So I'm wondering if there's stuff in the background that's slowing it down. So because of the poor speedometer 2 tests that I got, I decided to reboot the machine. Completely do a cold start. Okay, that's more in the neighborhood of what I was expecting, because this does have a Core i5 U series processor in it. I would have expected it to be in the 90 to 100 range. Still a little disappointed, but that's okay. Speaking of the internals, the battery life on this MacBook, on this Chromebook, it's pretty disappointing. If you look down here and look at the estimated time left, it's at a 93% charge, and it's saying that 2 hours and 57 minutes are left. That's with the brightness all the way up, but trust me, I've had the brightness on midway, and it gives me the same number. Well, there's two problems. First, after running the machine today, because I worked in it almost all day today, after running it for about 4 hours, the bottom was too hot to touch. You can't use this as a laptop, which is almost unforgivable sin for a laptop to get too hot to use on your lap. But I can forgive it because most of the time I use a laptop on a desktop. The bad thing is the battery life. Battery life of 3 to 3.5 hours. 3.5 hours, and that's a high-end estimate. It's really too low for this Chromebook. For a $1,000 Chromebook, you should be looking at much better battery life. Generally speaking, if I had to say whether this is a try, buy, or pass, I would say this is a definite try if battery life is not that important to you, but definitely pass if you're someone that's going to be away from a charger most of the day, because this will not do it. It's a fast Chromebook. It's got pretty good web benchmarks. You see benchmarking at 90, and just for perspective, my MacBook Pro with 6 processors, a full 45 watt Intel U series processor gets up 130 with 6 cores. So this is a nice Chromebook for everything except battery life. It will not last longer than 3.5 hours. So try, buy, or pass. Overall, I'd say pass for this money. For $1,000, but you're welcome to try if battery life isn't that important to you. But my overall score is pass.